Star Wars The Bad Batch, Episode 3. And this episode is called Replacements. So, overall, in terms of episode standards, once again, like last week, in last week's episode, this was another solid episode. Now, of course, there wasn't really all that much, I guess, crazy what the f moments or I don't know, explosions happening and all that sort of stuff. Well, there was a little kind of fight scene in this episode though. But yeah, but I overall have to say it was a solid episode. You know, of course we do get some more development between Omega and of course Hunter, which is always great and whatnot sort of have you. And this episode really opened up the doors for a lot of things. Number one, this is me after watching a Star Wars Theories episode recap on this episode. Has to watching this episode recap, and one of the interesting things that he said, and that is something that hell I think I kind of need to take into consideration, or I didn't really think about it because I was kind of half asleep when the episode, like when I was watching the episode. It was a long day yesterday, and it was just so stinking hot in my room and all that sort of stuff. But one of the few things that he pointed out was, well, that how Wrecker in this episode, hits his head on, I forget what he hit his head on. I think, what was it, a wrench or something? So you know how he hits his head on a wrench. He says it hurts really bad. Now usually it wouldn't be a problem for Wrecker because, well, he's the strong, tough guy of the team, and all that sort of stuff. But the interesting thing about this is that, you're in pain from just a little toolbox or whatever the hell it's called, and a lot of people have been predicting that maybe his inhibitor chip is maybe acting up, and who knows, you can possibly execute Order 66. We don't know. We don't know. So that is definitely something that we need to take, into consideration and all that sort of stuff. Other things that I needed to point out too was that the Empire are slowly phasing out the clones for regular humans as we got the elite clone trooper squad. Well, not really clones. They're more just humans, just in clone armor and dark clone armor. And I wonder if this is sort of like the first incarnation or the first look at Death Troopers. Because think about it, they're wearing black armor and they got and their visors are green. So is this the first batch of Death Troopers? We don't know, because we know that they had to have existed in the early days of the Empire. Of course, in Rogue One, Director Krennic had Death Troopers and all that sort of stuff. So that's pretty interesting, I gotta say. And also, just that scene, it was just pretty dark too. Just Crosshair has gone completely crazy and it's just starting, killing all these, just innocent civilians. And the reason sort of why the Empire are sort of holding off from replacing the clones with humans, is the number one obvious is an obvious and pretty number one reason is that the clones still obey orders without question, while normal humans, well, they have to question some things and whatnot, sort of have you. So that's one of the things as to why the Empire were still using clones and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff. Another interesting part that I'm hoping that at least happens is, as my water bottle fell, is that the Kevin Mullins are talking about, the next phase of clones, which is interesting because, well, we know, like in the Rise of Skywalker, that Palpatine, is it confirmed that he's a clone? I don't know. The movie was kind of retarded anyway, but we do know that the Empire or Palpatine has been experimenting with force sensitive clones. So what if the Kelmoans are working on a force sensitive being? Like, could possibly, could Star Killer show up? Like, because think about this. Starkiller has had clones before. Like, Galen Marek was just originally just a normal guy. You know, he was like the son of a Jedi Knight until, until in the first Force Unleashed game, he gets killed, and then he comes back in the second game as a clone. So could they be doing that? We don't know. But that would be pretty interesting and cool to see, though. But like I said before, though, this episode opened up a lot of doors for a lot of new storytelling that's about to come, in these next 16 weeks. So that should be something interesting. But overall, guys, tell me, guys, what you thought of the episode down in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? I'm on the fence of saying it was a solid episode. Solid enough. So, with all that being said in mind, guys, I hope you all enjoyed the video. And with that being said, I will see you all next time.